Welcome to the channel, I'm Dave, and this is Rogue Garage. So on this episode, we are going to be working on like 3 different cars. So we've got some stuff we're doing to the Lambo, we've got some stuff we're doing to the McLaren on the interior, and the big stuff that's going on is on the Corvette. We've got a big power upgrade. We're gonna be doing some big boy turbos. So super excited to show you that. We've got a really cool setup, and I'm so excited to have it together and going. But first thing that we're going to be doing is we got to get going on the Lambo. Oh yeah. Right there. And that is a starter, as I do with most things. And I'm going to live up to my name of being cheap at a higher level. I cross-referenced the starter for this thinking, okay, I'll bet the Volkswagen Audi group used this on something else. And sure enough, they did. Guys were selling these starters used for like $250 to $300. I took that part number, cross-referenced it, and figured out that Volkswagen used this same starter on their diesel Jettas. So I bought a brand new starter, Bosch, not even a knockoff, a brand new Bosch starter for $200 that's for a Jetta. And we're gonna now have a Jetta starter in the twin turbo Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggero.
The new running joke is gonna be, now you have a nice Jetta.
Yep.
Nice twin turbo Jetta.
So we just have this plug here to do, and that, and then there's a bolt up top, and then this one's of course super easy to get to. All right, so this is gonna be a very exciting unboxing. What could it be?
Look at that. Okay. Bosch.
And there it is. My new Jetta starter. Right there. So here is the old starter that came off of the car. It actually even says, I don't know if we can see that, but it actually says VW AG, so yeah? Volkswagen Automotive Group. It's my twin turbo Jetta.
Looks pretty similar to me.
Looks pretty similar. All the bolt bits on it are the same. Here, let's see now. Yeah. Part number. This is a first for a sticker. Do not strike with hammer.
Must be pretty common on the diesels.
That's funny. They must have had a lot of people destroying starters by hitting them. Dude, I think I got it the first time. I think I might be ready to go pro.
Certified Jetta Tech.
Oh, so bright and shiny.
Nice and brand new.
And the sticker, make sure we don't hit it with a hammer. I'm gonna really need that as a reminder to not hit my thing with a hammer. Now, if it works correctly, I'm gonna start this thing and it's gonna sound like a diesel.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like bounce.
No, it just
well, hopefully this week or next week we'll have some new rubber on this, and we're gonna get an alignment too. So these tires are from back when Mullet raced the car in 2016. So I think they're a little done. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sounds like that thing has some power to it.
Man, I think that took me all of like 20 minutes. I spent more time jacking the car up than I did actually changing it. So now we just got tires, alignment, couple other little things, some basic maintenance. A lot better than having to pull the tranny again, which is usually my MO after driving it a few times. All right, so we are on to the candy red twin turbo Z06 Corvette. As you can see, this is all open now. So this is what's left of the twin turbo setup. that was on here before. So we had our STS twin turbos that had the oil coming from the engine and it getting pumped back. I started struggling a lot with the oil. The oil seals in the turbos themselves were starting to leak and just dump oil right out the back and making a big mess. So, of course, we're not just gonna replace them with turbos that are similar to those. I had to upgrade, and I've been talking about upgrading for a while. So I have now 2 big comp turbos, and it's amazing how much better the technology is with these turbos from even when I got those. Before, those 2 turbos that I had were rated for 1,050 horsepower between the 2 of them. And now these new turbos are rated for 1,100 horsepower each. Now we have 2,200 horsepower worth of turbos going on the candy red Corvette. Big power is in our future. So they're gonna go here, and I'm gonna show you here. We're gonna kind of mock them up, and then we're gonna start fabricating how these are gonna go. I'm gonna end up redoing everything, all the piping that goes to the turbos, new downpipes and everything, and I think this is gonna look sick. It's not gonna look like any other twin turbo Corvette setup that's out there. So I wanna show you, before we start fabbing all of this, a little bit of a comparison of the old to the new. So these are our old, greasy, ugly turbos. You can see that we were having some issues with oil, but these had a 2.5 or a 2-inch inlet and a 2.5-inch outlet on the exhaust side, with a 3-inch inlet for the compressor housing. Now, if we go to the new turbo, and of course these are a ball bearing, oil-fed turbo. Now with these new ones, these are one of their air-cooled, oilless turbos. They do have a version of these that are water-cooled, but when you have a rear mount setup like this, you have a decreased amount of heat soak. When you have the turbos up in the engine, you get a lot more heat from the engine. They heat soak the turbos. So those, they do have a version for that, and it's water-cooled. These ones are air-cooled, and with them being in the back, they don't get near as hot, and they're able to cool off just from the ambient air around them. But you can see the physical size difference here. So you got a 3-inch inlet here versus a 4-inch inlet here with the sick looking, our impellers there that are all CNC machined.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. With a 2.5-inch outlet. And then on the exhaust side, which the exhaust side is huge in comparison to these.
Yeah.
So the inlet is basically still the same size. So it runs a 2-inch pipe for the inlet, but instead of a 2.5-inch outlet pipe, we have a V-band 3-inch. And what we're gonna do is take the 3-inch when it comes right out of the turbo, and then we're gonna step it up to 2 4-inch downpipes that are gonna be very short. And I'm gonna show you here in just a minute what the plan is. I think it's gonna be super sick. So what we're gonna do, let's see. I got my new babies. My little turbo babies. Okay, so these are going like that. What do you think? They're gonna go straight back. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna look sick.
Oh.
I like your turbos.
That's what she said. Okay, so the turbos, roughly, are gonna go like that. So we're gonna have
Oh yeah.
2 4-inch pipes sticking straight out the back. The air filters are gonna be right in front, in between the rear diff, transmission, and the turbos themselves. And these are gonna step to 2 4-inch downpipes. And you'll be able to actually look from behind and see the impeller wheels spinning.
Yeah.
Which I think will be super cool. And my arms are thoroughly burning now. So the other obvious thing in the room here is we have no suspension arms. We've got the rears all off as well as the fronts. So we've pulled all the arms, all the shocks, there's the carbon leaf spring that was factory. You can see it sitting over there on the floor. That's my front one. So what we're doing is we are putting coilovers. I can show you. These are the fronts here. So we got our front coilover. So these now will replace the factory spring. It will not have as plush of a ride, but it's going to handle like on rails. And the other thing that's going to make it handle amazing is I have new to me anyway, A-arms. So these, from my buddy Daniel that we've talked about a few times, Mr. Corvette guy, these are all solid joint bushings. So they're all a road race setup. We're gonna change out the stock rubber bushings. And these bushings, what kind of motivated the push to change these out is these bushings were trashed. I'd hit bumps and the whole car would kind of do this and kind of wobble, and the front would kind of track and move, and you could tell the bushings and everything was hammered. So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do it anyway, of course I called my buddy Daniel to see if he had anything, and he had those. So coilovers, solid bushings, and big turb skis. And then the motor's got to get pulled out too. So not that it's blown or anything, but I just got oil leaks all over. And I figure while a lot of this is tore apart, I'm gonna just yank the motor. I'm gonna go through all the oil seals. Engine runs great, but just the oil thing is driving me crazy. So we're gonna pull that. We're also gonna get all those oil seals done so that I no longer have a puddle underneath the car. In this video, we'll probably end up just going through some of the fabrication for the rear turbos, and we're gonna be getting on that tomorrow.
Got Evan here cutting off all the flanges so we can reuse them.
So I had to take the work truck over today to go over to Harbor Freight and get myself another tool to help me fab everything. So, you know, what better to use than the Lambo work truck. The box ended up being a little bit bigger and dirtier than I was hoping. So while I was there, I bought a moving blanket at the same time to save my seats. But this is gonna be a sander that we use for prep the joints. I have been just using my grinder, and it's just super hard to get it nice and flat. So with this sanding tool, the disc sander, it'll help make the surface, the two surfaces that we weld, nice and flat.
How are we looking? Oh yeah.
Very nice.
Beautiful. Here it is in the rough stages. I'm just imagining this out of the rear end of the Corvette. That's gonna look nuts and sound crazy.
And even though this has a little bit of a turn, like you look down it, you'll still be able to see.
Oh yeah.
You still be able to see the whirly bits in there. How's that for a weld?
Say not bad for a guy who's self-taught.
Yeah.
That's clean. Look at that.
Boom, baby. Instead of down pipes, we're gonna call them straight back pipes.
I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, that looks sick. I like that. We gotta cut these guys down, and we will then tack these to this. Got it hot and blue.
Look at that.
My evil plan is coming together.
Mad scientist in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Still got a nice clear view of the...
this ugliness is getting cut off. It's just temporary to hold it all together. But now.
I think you leave it. There's some blast pipes on there. Oh yeah.
That'll work. Some big progress with the Corvette. So we've got the down pipes all tacked together and actually mounted where the turbos are now put together. I did these straps here so that just as a temporary, obviously we're not going to have the pipe sticking out this far, so I'm going to cut them back somewhere in here, but I want to get the rest of this all mounted and sorted first. With this setup, we've actually got the air filters that are going to go right in front here. So before, we had a small, it was just a 2.5-inch pipe that ran up underneath, and then we had an air filter there behind each of the tail lights. So it was really pretty restrictive, and it was a neck down to a 2.5-inch. So these are actually a 4-inch Can-N. This will end up sitting just up here. So it is just enough room to get the air filters off. But these comp turbos are going to be pretty slick. It's pretty awesome not having to worry about the oil pumps and all of that. So I'm going to be pulling all the rest of the line out. And we just have these 2 Zert fittings. So these are special comp turbos that are oilless. So they got a special grease that you put in this. It's really amazing the amount of flow that they're getting out of these small packages now, with these being able to put out enough air for 1,100 horse each. Each one of these now flows more than both of my turbos combined before. But really nice product. I'm excited to try these new ones out. These are a great setup being in the back. They have some additional fins on there to help keep it cool. And being that you just don't get the heat back here, these will work out great. But the next video, we'll be kind of finishing up all of this and getting all the suspension together. So this will tie off this portion with the Corvette here for this video. All right, so we've been making progress with the McLaren. As you can see, both seats are out now, kind of being held up a little bit by my upholstery guy that's working on the seats, but seats should be done soon. We've also got some other color change stuff that we're doing inside, so it'll look a little bit different once it's totally done. But these doors are really something else. There's so many dang pieces and parts and everything, but I have a door panel on again.
Look at that.
Look at that. And then windows go up.
Hey.
Yay! And even passenger side. Yay!
Hey, look at that.
So, big news, there's been so much work between these 2 doors, between all the painting and repairing stuff. We had to repair this door panel. The stitching was all messed up on this before, so he cleaned that all up. And then we cleaned all of this up. I had to get lots of clips and lots of stuff that the other lovely people that had worked on this before put all the wrong stuff in there, and Gorilla Glue and lots of that kind of stuff. So, most importantly, I now have an oil cap.
Hey.
And it's the correct one, and I have it turned all the way. That will be something that we make sure and check. I'm actually very thankful that this car was in limp mode at the time that we were puking oil and didn't realize it was oil. If this thing hadn't been in limp mode, there's a good chance the exhaust would have been way hotter, and this thing could have caught fire. And I don't have a fire extinguisher in here, so more likely this thing would have burned down and then it'd be totaled before I even got to actually finish it. Maybe that would be a blessing in disguise, and then I just get the insurance money and I go buy like a running car. So I think we're going to tie this video off here. We've got you an update on the Lambo. It's got a good starter in it. The Corvette, we're right along the path of the bigger turbos and a cool setup, and I think it's going to be rowdy and awesome. McLaren too, we're moving along. Hopefully here soon, next couple weeks, we'll be able to get it out around. We'll get another video out to you with some bigger updates. So till then, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.